Yes, guys, welcome back to your Seriousness podcast. My name is Cossy. Welcome back to a brand new video. Well, the problems at Arsenal are still continuing and they ramble on and ramble on and ramble on. Mikel Arteta has been speaking, of course, in his press conference, and he said Bukayo Saka is feeling uncomfortable, really, really uncomfortable, and that's why they took him off in that game against FC Lons. He couldn't continue, and looks like he will be unavailable against Mancity. We're going to be into the press conference of the manager, his impressions on Saka, on the general performance as well, and when are we expecting Saka back, and what exactly is going to happen without Saka. There's a lot to talk about in this one. Hit the like button, subscribe to the podcast as well. How do we cope up with life without Bukayo Saka? Because again, that's a big one. Without Saka, without our most important player in the very most important home game of the campaign, as we play Man City, can we even try? Can we even have a scratch on them without Saka? That's a big question. Hit the like button, subscribe to the podcast as well, and of course, talk to me in the comment box below. Do you think this could be an advantage for Saka to get some rest? And probably by the time he comes back, he's a little bit much fresher, much better, and feeling in a much better position. And where does it leave Arsenal as well? Can we cope up? That's a big question. Talk to me in the comment box below. Do you think Arsenal have the minerals, the resources to cope up with that Bukayo Saka? It's been a very long time that we've played a game of football, genuinely played a game of football without Bukayo Saka. So Mikel Arteta, after the game, first and foremost, he was asked about Bukayo Saka's injury, and that shows you the magnitude of the importance of this guy. He wasn't even asked about the game. He was asked about Saka initially, and he says, he tried to backheel the ball in the first half and felt something. It was something muscular, and he was uncomfortable to actually carry on. So we had to take him off as quick as we could. So he tried a back heel, he felt something muscular, and that's why Arsenal decided to actually take him off. Now, this one I'm going to say, the injuries we have, the long-term injuries we've had, they're muscular injuries, thigh injuries, hamstring injuries, groin injuries, they're muscular injuries. And again, Saka is just a continuation on the list. He's just another new member on the list. And I don't know what's going to happen. I don't know what is actually going on. But questions have got to be asked of this medical team. Why are we having almost the same injuries, different players, same injuries, again and again and again? It's just 10 games into the campaign. I don't think Arsenal played a lot of football. I don't think we've really played so much football for us to go, well, it's a lot of football, and therefore you can explain the injuries. I don't think that is a curtain we can run in behind, right? I don't think that's a curtain we can actually use to shadow our mistakes. So what is going on? What's going on with this medical team? But Mikel says with Saka, it was something muscular. And we know with muscular injuries, you just cannot run, roll on it. You just cannot go, well, I have a muscular injury, but I'll play, right? The moment you feel something and a player goes down, it is bad. It is very, very bad news. We've seen it with Trossard. We've seen it with Martinelli. We've seen it with Partey. We've seen it with Emile Smith-Rowe. Can you believe Emile Smith-Rowe had a groin injury and it kept him out for a whole season, like the better part of the last season, and he was on the very, very good trajectory. He was on a very, very positive trajectory. And I think if you're Mikel Arteta and you're looking at your team and you do not have your best player, I don't know what happens after here. I don't know what really goes on out of here, but it's a bad one, right? It's very, very bad news. So Mikel also says that on how serious the injury is. We don't know anything more about that, more than that. He says, obviously, it was big enough not to allow him to continue to play the game, and that's obviously worrying for us at the moment, right? It was something huge for not to allow him to continue the game. So I think, what we know with Saka and what Mikel will have actually noticed with Saka and why we always see him play every single game, whether he's injured a little bit or not. And some people think this guy is immortal, like he doesn't pick up injuries. He actually does. I think Mikel will be disappointed with himself, but then he will be worried as well, because this is a guy that literally picks up knocks every single time, and he comes back and he rolls on, and this time he's picked it up. Well, Mikel says let's take him off, and after that, right, We are worried. The signals that are coming out are absolutely worrying. So let's see. Let's wait and see what's gonna come out of there. But it's not positive. It's absolutely not positive. Mikel Arteta on if Saka will be fit for to feature on Sunday. He says, "I have no clue. I actually do not know. I don't think Saka is gonna play against City on Sunday." He won't play in that game. It will be a miracle that he actually plays in that game. First and foremost, this is an injury. It's a long-term injury. It was reported by the Daily Mail during the international break that Saka had a muscular Achilles injury. That he had, not really muscular, but he had an Achilles injury that was nagging him, and it was a long time in the making. And Mikel was asked about it and said, well, when he says he can play, we play him, right? When we assess him and he's fit for the game, we actually play him. So I don't think Mikel really gave us the whole truth about Saka not being injured or not carrying an injury. I think this injury has been there, but now it has actually escalated. Probably he's having the Achilles injury and he's having a new injury as well. And either way, I don't see him play against Man City. I don't see him play for Arsenal against Man City. It's a muscle injury. They are always difficult. They're very difficult to deal with. You cannot even go, well, we can spray it. You cannot spray it, right? So if he's out, he is out for a very long time. If he's out, he's out until the doctors can say he's back. I don't even trust these doctors at Arsenal anymore. I just don't. I don't trust these boys in the medical and the physio. Last season, they did a very good job. And last season, we were in the Europa League as well, and we were in the Premier League, and we played very good football, and we challenged for the title. Are we having our own share of injuries because last season we didn't? Potentially, are we seeing the impact of us going too hard on Man City against Man City last campaign? Well, probably. But still, I still want to get good explanations why the injuries are actually, killing this team. We should get an explanation. I wish we could get a good one, right? Mikel Arteta on whether the game was affected by the travel disruptions, delaying preparations as well. It says, no, let's not make excuses. First and foremost, congratulations to Lens. They are a really, really top side, and they're a really good side. They are really well coached. We knew it was going to be a very tough match, and I think we started the game and straight away got a grip of the game. Scored the goal, the most difficult thing, and we were in total control of the game. In one isolated situation, we conceded, and it was game on. We started the second half really, really good again, and we had a huge chance with Leo to make it 2-1. Mikel also says that not only that we preparing the subs as well. Tomiyasu had a big chance, and when they went other way, they just scored the goal. The difference between today and PSV is clear. The difference was in the boxes. We had four or five big chances and didn't put them away. We didn't defend the boxes well enough. It's true there were moments in the second half where we struggled to be more of a threat in the final third and attack spaces. Otherwise, they defended those numbers really, really well, and that's something to take for the next game. I think he summarized it. I think he's absolutely summarized it, Mikel Arteta. It's what I said. I don't put this on the manager. I really don't, because for me, when I'm Mikel, and if I was Mikel, and I put my best 11 out there, and I want them to perform at the highest level like they did against PSV, and they do not, I might take the blame a little bit as manager, but what are you going to be blaming me for, right? That team should be able to beat Lens. But he points out a couple of things. One, I don't think we were effective in both boxes. It was too easy for Eliawahi on both goals. And I think William Saliba and Gabriel should be cautioned. And they will be cautioning themselves as well. It didn't look good. It really didn't look good. It looked like a side that had not defended in ages. It looked like a side with Skodran Mustafi combined with Laura Koscielny, combined with Johan Joru, and combined with Sebastian Skulaci. That is the Arsenal defense, and probably Mustafi as well. That is how we defended in that game. Mustafi vibes, Skulaci vibes, Senderos vibes, those vibes, right? It wasn't good enough. Was I watching Saliba or was I watching Stefan Lechesteiner? I was watching Saliba, and his performance was a Stefan Leicester performance. So we were not effective in both boxes. We didn't try enough to make them not score. And we gave them huge opportunities, isolated incidents where they just capitalized. And then in their penalty area, I don't think we actually were effective. Of course, Tommy had that good chance. He should have buried it. He should have put it away. Probably either side of the goalkeeper. It's in the back of the net. And then I think we had another one with Leandro Trossard where he's unlucky, like really, really, really unlucky. The goalkeeper serves it. I think Leo should be trying to do much better on that shot. But apart from that, the whole vibe, and Mikel talks about it, that there was a time where we struggled in the second half. And I feel like we really, really struggled in the second half, right? It's a Champions League game. It's the first UCL game I've watched, and I'm focused on that game only. In the first week, I was watching Barca. I'm watching Man United. I was watching... I do watch a couple of games at the same time. But this one, I was focused on it, and I didn't see Arsenal really try to bring in that kind of ruthlessness when you are looking for an equalizer, when you're going, when you're a goal down, that kind of mentality, that kind of monster mentality. I really didn't see it, right? I didn't see it. But it's not the end of the world. We will bounce back. And, it happens. Teams lose games. Mikel Arteta on Saka's mentality for the club every 3 days. He says he was he was looking really forward to play today. Every player was. It was a big Champions night. I told him, I painted a picture, the scenario, the type of game we were going to have to face today, and they all knew it. But in the Champions League, it is so difficult to win. Very difficult to win away from home, and today we take a big lesson as well. I will not question the mentality of the players. I'm not going to question the mentality of the players, because this Arsenal team is one of the teams that really win points in the dying minutes of games. Like, you can think about Man United this season. You can think about Bournemouth last season. You can think about which other team did we beat in the last minutes of the game, right? So I don't think Arsenal really worry me when it comes to mentality. I think our mentality is there. I think our mentality is improving. What actually worries me, and why I'm worried, about this team, is this season we are developing some kind of condition where we switch off in games. It's some kind of condition that allows us switch off in games, and we could switch off for a whole 45 minutes. We could switch off for a whole 20 minutes. It's what I'm really worried about. But mentality-wise, even if it's not Saka, even if it's the rest of the team, I trust them. Mikel on Bukayo Saka's injury today, if it was related with any knocks he picked up recently, he said there were more knocks than any other thing. Of course, the last few that he had, he hasn't really missed any games. We gave him a break against Brentford in the Carabao Cup, and that was all. I don't think that was enough. I really don't think that was enough. But I can't blame Mikel. When you want to win, you've got to field your best 11. There are no two ways about it. And Mikel knows, and the Arsenal fan base knows, and I personally know it. If you want to win, there are no two ways about it. You play your best 11. You play your best players. So I'm not really even angry about Saka's injury anymore on Mikel. I really am not. Mikel Arteta on the individual errors that we committed in this game and how they affected it. He says we want to stop everything and produce as many big possibilities as possible for the team, but they are part of the game. Errors happen in football constantly. Every 3 or 4 seconds, there is an error even from the opponent, and we have to adapt to that. I think today, the situation where we had most control, especially after the first goal, and there we started to dominate. We had 2 big chances to score before them, and then the game turned around in that situation when they played around us, and we defended in the box really poorly. That's what happens. Big teams punish you, and we didn't punish them in the way that they punished us. PSV, that we punished PSV, and that is the difference in the game. Well, look, I think PSV made it very easy for Arsenal. FC Lens had it very easy from Arsenal. That's the difference. And it talks about defending poorly. Both goals Both goals, we defended poorly. Both goals, we should have done better. Like, really, really better. Okay, Mikel Arteta, on if it was disappointing to see David Raya's error in the distribution for the goal. He says no. I wasn't really very, very disappointed as well. I just think his general appearance in the game wasn't that good. I wasn't impressed with him, but the error, it happens, right? It happens, and we had a chance to stop it. We just didn't stop it. Our players were just not in the game. Mikel Arteta, on if the atmosphere had an effect during tonight's game, he says obviously. The atmosphere, I imagine, is a big energy boost for them. We knew they were. We knew that they were one of the best. I knew that since I played in this country, that its atmosphere is one of the best in the country. It was great to play in and embrace that moment and play in the atmosphere. In a lot of moments, we quietened the crowd, but we gave them life in those two situations where we conceded the goals. Okay, Mikel says the atmosphere played a part, but we actually played a part in our own destruction. I mean, not deluded. Good press conference. I think I like his reaction to the game. He's not a manager that throws his players under the bus, and I like that as well. So yeah, apart from the Saka update, that is doesn't give us a lot of hope. It's not a bad press conference, is it? It's not a bad press conference. I'll see you right in the next one. Hit the like button for me. Of course, we'll be talking about how to replace Bukayo Saka if we don't have him. And I'll be talking about the medical team. Have we got to ask questions of this medical team? Do we need to sack them? See you soon.